we can do what's Hondo on the mic from Leo's Paradise. Random stream drop like a Dragon Ball fight. No lie, plan stream stacking up, but here's a twist in time. Freestyling on the deck like Luffy's punchlines. Up the channels faster than Zoro sword swings. Game and pop culture, it's the chaos he brings. Talking movie reboots, superhero hype. Hondo passing the mic, now Bishop's in sight. Cutting clips clean, frame by frame, I align. Laying bass lines heavy, keep the rhythm divine. Jumping 5 videos, can't keep up with the pace. Pass the mic back, Leo's leading the chase. Off the rails, no script, just a freestyle ride. Nerdcore king, let the randomness collide. Playing a knob, Leo's got the flow to entice. It's words of paradise, the chaos comes to life. No script, just a freestyle ride. Nerdcore king, let the randomness collide. Planning on Leo's got the flow to entice. It's words of paradise, the chaos comes to life. Off the rails, no script, just a freestyle ride. Nerdcore king, let the randomness collide. Planning on Leo's got the flow to entice. It's words of paradise, the chaos comes to life.
Finally, we went to another episode of the Countercast. How are all you vital idols doing? We had got an interesting one for you today. We're going to be doing something we don't usually do because today's video might take all stream, or at least the majority of the stream. It's going to be interesting. Before we get into any of that, just going to wet y'all's whistle a little bit. I couldn't do this without my partner in crime. Cindy, tell the people who you are and what you do.
I am the VTuber that some people don't like me being on here, but that's okay because I find it fun just to annoy you. I am Leon's friend.
It's crazy. We get so much hate for how often we work together. It's almost like we're fucking friends or something.
I know, isn't that shit wild? Oh goodness! But yes, I like to talk about anime.
And Lumi gets this with Arch. I wonder if people just mess with like, oh, I'm so upset that you're on Arch's show all the fucking time.
Oh my gosh, they need to get the fuck over it. Like, we're here to stay. Move along. It's the titties. It's the titties. That's what it is. It just, they're all gay. That's how they label themselves.
Better than mine.
Yes. All that belts. But yeah, I like hanging out with you. So here I am. Every week.
Speaking of hanging out, we got a lot of folk hanging out in chat. We got Special Heartless up in this bitch. Unk Jita is here. Krovax is here. Also, happy 20th anniversary to Kingdom Hearts 2, the only good Kingdom Hearts game. And then Cindy, of course, will be talking to you guys in chat. The most you can have is here. Shout most you can have. Valiant Goat up in this bitch. Scotty G, Person 11, the Free Expression Warrior, Grave 1383. Oh, Valiant Goat. So many people. So many people. The haters have ramped up as of late for both of us. It's which just means you're doing something right. If you're getting haters, it means you're doing something right. Fallen Angel, shout out people bitching about Arch and VTubers. I don't know. That was just an example because people are bitching about how often Cindy is on with me. So I was drawing the parallel to Lumi and Arch. I don't actually know. That was just an example. Don't be go throwing shade where it don't exist. I'm not sure. But yeah, yo, shout out to everybody that's here, all you vital idols. I say we just get right into it. What do you say? You have anything to open with, or let's just dive in?
Happy holidays.
No, okay, never mind. Fuck that. She's fired. It's Merry Christmas. It's not Happy Holidays. We don't do that gay shit around here. Fuck your holidays. It's Merry fucking Christmas. Have you learned your lesson, you big-tittied broad?
Well, if it makes you feel better, when I made a phone call earlier, I had to call this company, and they were like, "Well, Merry Christmas," or no, Happy Holidays. I was like, "Merry Christmas."
Shut the fuck up. We got to quote Hypnotic, who just rated in, a Red Boy Mega Hyper Banger. Bro, Scotty, you absolute fucking legend. I have no idea what possessed you. But for one, that one chat made us hit goal. Apparently, we playing some bad Christmas games tomorrow. In fact, I know exactly what games we're playing. And if you guys watched yesterday's Sunday special stream, you do too. But homie, to celebrate a Red Boy Ultra Mega Hyper Banger, since again, Hypno did just enter the chat. This is for you.
Like, I don't think humans were meant to see sissy hypno inflation compilations.
But hey, by the way, did you know that I suck dick as a man? I lick the ass of other men. But really quick, I lick the balls of a man.
What can I say? Thanks for the raid, Hypno, because yes, we got raided right before that came in from Hypnotic's show. Yeah, gaming with Hypno. Hopefully he had a banger time. Yeah, bigot army raid. Whoa, what Hypno? Yeah, Hypno gay. See, when Hypno calls me gay on his show all the time, is projection, right? Now, when he calls Atreus gay, it's true. When he calls me gay, it's projection. I got the visual audio proof. Shout out Zalozi. Well, that's one way to say hi. What up, brother? Hypno emojis in the chat, everybody. Alrighty. Let's get into it. Today we got a very specific topic because I saw a post on X and it made me curious. So if you guys read the title of this episode, are left-leaning subcultures turning against wokeness? Now, Cindy, you and I both grew up and came up in very left-leaning subcultures. It doesn't mean we were always left-leaning, but like you came up in the anime realm, the art realm. I was in the anime realm, gaming. Like by and large, definitely the music industry. I used to work in the music industry. Most creative endeavors and institutions, at least in America, are notably left-leaning. Like, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that's fair.
And yeah, did you ever have any like left-leaning inclinations or proclivities or anything prior to being quote unquote radicalized, or were you always more or less the same?
I've always been a little bit right of center, and I think I've always been that way. So no, I'm not really much of a leftist.
Okay, so if I were to show you an individual of this picture of this individual right here, Jake Maruno, like what would be your immediate thought on his political leanings?
Yeah, he's looking for his Harley Quinn, isn't he?
So, I mean, very possibly. I'm not going to speak to that. I don't know. Does he want a woman to abuse? Possibly. Do I have a problem with that? Absolutely not. Bring back woman beating. But yeah, no. Like I would look at this dude and think leftist.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely. That and cry for help or attention, either or.
Well, this dude is Jake Marino, aka Goth Daddy, and
I don't think this
Foxy
is going to be the last.
Moxie has been telling me to watch Jake for a while. Sorry, Monroe, not Marino. Jake Monroe. And Foxy Moxie's been telling me to react to him for a while, and he's cool, he's based the whole nine, and he has been showing up on my timeline. Describes himself as alt-right nationalist goth fighting the woke matriarchy in alternative subcultures.
Yeah. Okay. My opinion hasn't changed.
He released a video yesterday, and it popped up on my X timeline. I thought, you know what? I'm going to take Moxie's opinion. I'm going to react to him. You're familiar with our boy Brian, right? Gasoline and Vertebrate.
Yeah, I like Brian.
Yeah, he and Brian are buddies. They were just on one of Tim Pool's shows together, the
neat.
Culture War podcast. And so Jake released a video called What Woke Is and Why It's Bad. And my initial thought was, I'm curious how he defines woke, because one of the things that people, can never seem to agree on, and frankly, this is one of the few things that I think the left nowadays gets right, is that people can't even define woke anymore. It's just become a catch-all term that nobody agrees on. Like I've got, I think, pretty succinct definitions for it, but I am curious what somebody who looks like this, makes alternative music, or is in these artistic endeavors has to say about woke. And frankly, I'm curious, does the word even fucking matter anymore?
No, because it's kind of like saying somebody is alt-right when you don't agree with them and you're a woke person. Like the using the term Nazi for everything. They dilute the meaning so much that it just doesn't matter.
I completely agree. So what do you say we just check out and see how this dude defines woke and see where we agree, where we disagree, and again, whether or not it fucking matters.
Hello and welcome back to the Jake Monroe Show, where our star is rising even higher. That's right, your boy was recently flown out to West Virginia to appear alongside Brian Graupner and Phil Labonte of All That Remains on Culture War, where we
got a little bit excited.
I got too excited to see Brian.
Our boy Brian, dude,
Yeah.
Major shout out to Brian. Went from being a industrial goth music darling to canceled by the entire industry to clawing his way back up and showing up on the Culture War podcast with Philibonti. Fucking legend.
Yeah, congratulations to him.
Spoke about the woke mob ruining alternative subcultures. I had a rip-roaring good time. It was super fun.
I can't tell if
Phil
he's got an
and
accent.
Tim were very gracious.
Yeah, I don't know if he's got an accent or not because I'm just not super familiar with his content. Like I said, I've never actually watched one of his videos, even though Moxie's been trying to get me to for a while. But anybody that goes by the name Goth Daddy on X, it makes me very hesitant to talk about it because it's like people already think I'm gay. How can I say I'm reacting to Goth Daddy and not sound even more homosexual?
Well, I mean, like, you're going to have to embrace it because you are gay and that is okay. We love you anyway.
Thank you, Cindy. Your acceptance means the world to me. I'm so glad that my co-host is an ally.
Hosts, and I hope I get the opportunity to go back again at some point soon. However, I am going to be in Vegas in February to go talk to my friend Rollo Tomasi. I also just recently hit 1,000 paid members on this channel. That's what happens if you click join, by the way.
Well
if you
done.
click
Congratulations.
join, you become a member of the channel. You get access to where I keep all of my live streams so you can watch those back ad-free. You also get to watch these videos early before anyone else gets them. There's a lot of perks. There's a lot of perks for becoming a member. And I just, for the first time ever in my entire career, have just hit 1,000 paid members on this channel. And I cannot thank you guys enough. Thank you so much. All the gifters out there, all the reoccurring members out there, thank you so much. More perks being added soon.
I would be remiss if I didn't take this opportunity to say, same here. The fact that we have the sheer amount of members that we do, reoccurring members, it does mean the world to me. I appreciate it, and I am working on a brand new perk. It's still in the works. It will require a higher membership tier because it is something that is going to cost me a chunk of change, but it's going to be super worth it for you guys.
Exclusive merch, for example, discount codes, more emotes are coming, emojis, they're coming soon, and also members only live chat as well. That's also coming soon as well. So forgive me if I don't take a 3.5 hour downfall video that seriously, okay? I was too busy winning to care.
Well, see, you
Hell
know
yeah.
this guy is successful because, all right, no, go for it. What were you going to say?
No, I was saying, hell yeah. Go ahead.
So are you familiar with Anthony Fantano?
No.
So Anthony Fantano is one of the dumbest fucking accounts on YouTube. Dude is supposedly a music critic, but really his content just boils down to shitting on anyone that he even perceives as right wing. He's got his Asmongold video, which I'm actually going to react to. That'll probably be tomorrow's video. But he made a video on our boy here. This guy's a dumbass, referring to Jake. So that could be fun. He and Ronnie Radke got into a lawsuit. Like, it's Anthony Fantano, for anybody that's familiar with him, again, he is truly one of the most cancerous accounts on the internet. And knowing that he and Anthony don't get along already makes me like this Jake dude quite a bit.
3.5 hours, sweetie. I'm flattered, but I'm taken. Okay. I am the talk of the town. Look at me. I'm beaming.
He's growing on me very quickly.
Guy that all these
I'm liking
left-hard
his energy.
bitches love to use to get views and engagement. I'm that guy. I'm that guy, mother. Another video about me? Anyway, I would like to very quickly point out that I'm going on tour in the US, because I'm on such a
That is super cool and all. However, we're running a show here. We've got to get to the heart of the content. We've got to get to what this video is actually about. Otherwise, we're going to be here all day. No disrespect, Jake. I would love to hear about your tour. But for everybody else, the video's in the description, so you can just click that. But before we do, Fab, fantastically, amazingly brilliant, jumping in with 5 gifted Words of Paradise memberships. Again, fucking legend. And since I called Hypno gay earlier, it would only be right for me to acknowledge my own sexual proclivities. Fab, I give you some horsecock.
Horse semen's great.
I'm digging horsecock.
Is your cock a horse cock? You will never hear me say it. Nay. Ooh, as I speak more.
My favorite stallion I keep in my top drawer kinda goes hard though.
'Cause there is no cock like horse cock. Send your asshole into shock and eat horse
I don't know how we're going to ever top horsecock.
I'm sure that's exactly what this Jake Monroe wants. A guy who has a horsecock song reacting to his videos.
You know what? He looks like he'd be accepting of it.
That's true.
I'm on the on the way up, folks.
Do that salute.
But let's talk about the woke real quick.
Here
Because
it
every
is.
time we bring up the woke, or every time we've brought up woke agenda and what the woke means, oh, you never define it, you just say it. Are you
Now, again, the left says this all the time. You guys can't even define woke. And frankly, a lot of the time I think they're correct because so many folks just throw the word around. So do you have a definition of woke, Cindy?
Usually a member of the LGBT, the alphabet gang, okay, the alphabet mafia, usually has that septum piercing. Yeah, something like that. They voted for Kamala.
They voted for Kamala. Yeah, that's those are some generalizations, those are some descriptors. But as far as an actual definition, I've got two different definitions of it. One that applies to general culture and politics and ideological leanings, which would be the subversion of the nuclear family and American cultural norms being replaced with Marxist ideology, cultural Marxism. And then in the entertainment aspect, movies, comics, video games, there's a separate definition that falls under that, which would be replacing or prioritizing the left-leaning and communist or Marxist messaging over story and characters. And so when you put the message first, because you could hypothetically have a left-leaning movie or comic book, or just have progressive media, and it still be not woke, so long as the characters and the story are prioritized. So those are my two definitions.
I think that's fair.
Idiot. You're just saying woke, but you just admit that you're phobic. And you're an ist. Just admit it. Classic textbook leftist gaslighting. If you name something after something altruistic, like Antifa, for example, it's anti-fascist. What? You're against people that are fighting fascism? I can't believe you. That's unbelievable. Except your actions are entirely different and disconnected to the misnomer, to the title that you've assigned yourself of hero. And then you go and shoot innocent people dead. Absolute heroes. So let's talk about woke. Let's define it, shall we? Let's define woke so that we may better understand it and better fight it. Because it is dying. It is dying.
So, first of all, before we even get to his definition, do you agree that woke is dying?
I think it is definitely on the decline. We are now able to say the word retard and not have to really worry about it anymore. We're getting there with the faggot word. But I do believe that we are on the very mass decline. Is it gone? No. But we're doing better.
I both agree and disagree with you. So I think that from a cultural perspective, a normal perspective, just your regular, average, everyday, on-the-ground folk, even on the left, are getting tired of what would be ascribed as wokeness. I think that is phasing out. However, at a corporate and political level, I just think it's going through a rebranding. It's just not going to be called woke anymore. It's not going to be called DEI because those are toxic terms. That's why we're getting things like bridge and things to that effect. So it's even more worrisome that it could be going into hiding only for it to rear its ugly head again because people mistakenly think that it's been defeated or that it's on the downturn.
That's true, because suddenly you're not hearing much about it anymore. And I know Kirsha is still saying, and Kirsha and Hayden are saying, no, Bridge is still very much active. So yeah, now that you
Bridge
mention
is
that,
very much still active. Kirsha and Hayden are both correct.
yeah, that is scary to think about.
I didn't get an opportunity to talk about this with Phil on the podcast. We were too busy talking about so many other things. But Woke is dying. It is. Just look at all the numerous flops of movies that have come out over the last year or two whenever the societal climate shifted away from swallowing the media slop. So I wrote some things down. I'm going to go through those right now. As with most things on the left, woke was a concept stolen from black people to be appropriated by bored, entitled liberal women and the soy boys that can't get pussy from them.
Okay. Him acknowledging out the gate that it was stolen from blacks and that that's something the left traditionally does is a pretty damn good way to start his definition.
Yeah, no, that is very good. Oh my gosh. I'm liking his channel, but he talks very slowly for having a lot to say.
That's really what you're technically supposed to do on YouTube to drive out, watch time and whatnot. You and I are just both bad at it.
Oh, okay. Okay. That makes a lot more sense.
Seriously, I think it was like 1920, I think it was like the original usage of the word, maybe 1920, 1950. It was used by black African Americans, actually, to describe the seemingly systemic injustices that were prevalent at the time. So to be woke was to be aware of these things, or awake, actually. If you're white, you're aware of things, but woke was the terminology that they used. And of course,
and the ironic thing, and I've said this on plenty of shows, I've said this on this show, I've said this on Hypno's show, and a lot of people don't like when I say this because they're so uncomfortable with the word, but if you were to look at the original definition of woke, which is, yes, being aware to social and political injustices committed on a systematic level, if you use that original definition, did you know that we're woke? Me, you, Hypno, Zax, we're the woke ones.
What? No, I didn't know that.
Well, think about it. We're the ones calling out the oppressive left-leaning government that is curtailing free speech, that is enacting massive censorship, that are keeping individuals, and in many cases, straight white men, the one keeping them downtrodden. So if we're using the original terminology, the black version, being aware to social and political injustices on a systematic level, and we are calling that out in the year of our Lord 2025, hey, the government is enacting censorship and they are keeping the straight white man down, and they are trying to enact all sorts of wrong think laws and curtail free speech. Are we not calling out the oppressive systemic regimes of the social and political?
Oh, fascinating. Okay, yeah, I did not realize.
By true definition of wokeness, we are the woke ones, and it is a positive thing.
Huh. Learn something new every day.
Course, because of the unbearable amount of self-victimization that liberal women are capable of course, they were like, oh, I can use that for me to get all the power and none of the responsibility of men. Oh, look, I actually wrote it down here. Woke was a term used in the 1930s by blacks to refer to awareness of societal and systemic injustices against them. Well, nearly 100 years later, we've got body cams exposing a lack of accountability in that department, and prejudice and hatred against white people so clear, you don't even need to be woke to see it. Body cams. Am I right? Ooh. Whoops! Be careful what you wish for, because you might just get it. Anyway, sometime around 2015, the word got hijacked and appropriated the exact same time the radical gender movement began. Then in 2020, it became a mainstream phrase that people recognized. Yes, we all became very aware of this, and if you are from the Tumblr days, this was the precursor to what was going to happen in 2020, okay? You could go on Tumblr back in 2014, 2015 and laugh your ass off at the absolute mental gymnastics, the cognitive dissonance, the coggies.
So he was talking about body cams and whatnot, and I one of the things, I may have told the story before, I'm not sure, but one of the things that fucking radicalized me, man, this must have been back in 2014, 2015, somewhere around there. Maybe even, not maybe 2013, but I'm pretty sure it was 2014. I was on Facebook to show you guys how long ago this was. Facebook was fucking relevant. and I was scrolling through, and this is when I was with my first wife. I noticed a heavy divergence in her and I's moral alignment when we reacted to this same video completely different ways. It was this cop arresting this dumbass white broad, this dumbass blonde white broad. And as she's being put in the cuffs, she is screaming, I am a social justice warrior. You can't arrest me. You can't arrest. I am fighting for social justice. As if she was like immune to the laws. And I was laughing my ass off thinking, yo, this dumb broad getting what she deserves. You can't just be out there disturbing the peace and breaking laws and then you can get away with it because you got a good cause or whatnot. And the first wife thought that the cops were completely out of line and that she was in the right. So I not on the right, mind you, in the right, as in correct. So that was one of those things I was like, oh, fuck. Are there are people out there, including the woman that I'm with, that think this broad is correct? It blew my mind. I never even imagined somebody could think like that.
Yeah, no, that's been like, to use the term, the whole woke movement, right? For at least the more recent iteration of it. I thought I was being gaslit. Like, people, there's no way people could believe half this insane stuff that these women and stupid gay boy men were spouting. Like, so I just didn't really pay attention to it until it got into my entertainment.
Well, and Zax, she did make the sovereign citizen claim in that same screaming match, against the cops while she was being put in cuffs. Yes, so yes, sovereign citizen 100% came up. Turns out sovereign citizen and SJW shit that goes hand in fucking hand.
That were prevalent on Tumblr back in those times. There's no way people were going to think like that. There was no way that people could possibly think this in a civilized, sane society. We were wrong. It was going to get so much worse. Now, leftists love to completely gaslight you in defense of their behavior by pointing out the meaning of the phrases in which they operate. I said this earlier today. They're using phrases like Antifa, woke, social justice warriors. See, if you wear the Superman outfit and you go around thinking you're Superman, everyone's going to be like, that's good guy Superman. And then Superman shoots a guy in the neck. But it's okay, because he's the good guy, so it was justified.
Okay, in defense of a boy Clark, he did not have any other choice. Zod was going to kill so many people. There was nothing else Superman could have done. I stand with Superman. Zod had it coming. Sorry.
I don't think Zod said anything like Charlie Kirk did. All he said was, I'm gonna just take over this planet and kill everyone on it.
Oh, right. You know what? Context does in fact matter.
Superman's the good one. What do you mean you disagree with Superman? He's Superman. He's the hero. You disagree with Superman? You must be the bad guy then. Do you see how they do this? It's very Orwellian, isn't it? It's very 1984, which I suggest you read, especially if you're a leftist, actually. If you're a leftist, you should read it. And try not to connect the dots to what you're currently doing in society, okay? Try not to do it.
No, that would require a severe level of self-awareness.
Yeah, exactly. Not even critical thinking, just regular ass thinking.
Yeah. They can't do
It's
that.
anti-fascist. We're the good guys. Same with the woke. It's literally just about being aware of social injustices, except typical for a movement infected by the dark triad. If you remember that video, left-wing authoritarianism, very almost exclusively infected by something called the dark triad. There's a lot of narcissism in there. Typical of a movement infected by the dark triad traits, these were all corrupted to pursue power and control over others, which is essentially what this all boils down to, folks. It all boils down to control. Policing people's speech and the way they think and what they believe in, what they think is right, who they think should be in power.
Now, I will agree with what he's saying here, and again, this is quite a long video. Like I said, this one single video might take most of the stream because I think it's important to dissect this Because when he brings out you guys don't have a definition, I want to make sure the law folk have a consistent definition of, woke, lest it lose all meaning like it frequently has. And so when he talks about what's going on right now, the control factor, a lot of folk, in my opinion, don't drive home the point enough that this is 100% engineered, manufactured. This is done via backroom deals. It's done via politics, done via the Uniparty, done via the World Economic Forum. So it's, and when you say stuff like that, it sounds very conspiratorial. It sounds very tinfoil hat, which I mean is fine because it's absolutely true. But it's hard to get people on your side when you sound like Alex Jones because you sound unreasonable. So I'm wondering how he's going to, if at all, pull that into this since it is true, but maintain being in a convincing manner, a way that you could actually convince people that this is correct.
No, you're not going to be able to convince a lot of people anything because they're going to come to their own conclusions regardless.
Well,
and
I mean,
a lot of times
go on,
it's
go
not
on.
even a good conclusion. They just kind of put the piece, like you don't give them the whole puzzle and then you see what they do with it. I don't know. I'm just going to go on a tangent there.
Well, no, I get what you mean. And so by and large, there's definitely going to be folks you can't reason with. There's going to be people that you can't reason with. They're too far gone. And this video isn't for those folk. However, this is for, for example, have you ever heard of the movement Why I Left the Left?
No, that's new.
Okay. Well, it's a big movement. It's been around for, I think, since like 2018 or so, something like that. Maybe 2020. It certainly got big. Like it may have been around before lockdowns, but it got big during lockdowns because folks on the left were, at least some of them, finally realizing, oh, the oppression of us not being able to fucking go outside, us having to wear these face masks, us being mandated to get these vaccines, they're all coming from the left, and it woke a lot of left individuals up to leaving the left. Hence, they made the group Why I Left the Left. And so you don't get a group like that to exist if at least some people can't be convinced.
No, that's fair. I didn't even know this existed.
It's also a good way to create an army of people that are so radicalized and rabid to support the message that they can be whipped up into a frenzy and used as a weapon, also known as cancel culture. Shout out to Goths Against Cancel Culture. They just recently hit 20,000
Nice.
followers on their Facebook group. Congratulations, guys. If you are a based goth out there and you want to find a place where there's other people just like you, who isn't insane, who doesn't think you deserve to tell people what to do and what to think in order to be part of a subculture you only just recently became aware of.
He's talking to me.
That's what I was going to say. So when you talk about like goths against cancel culture and shit like that, here's the baffling part for most people, because people seem to not be able to wrap their heads around this shit. You don't have to be right-leaning or whatnot to be anti-woke. Like you could be on the left and be, because like traditional leftism, democratism, whatever, if you want high taxes, right? If you want free healthcare, look, I disagree with that shit because it's untenable. It's something that doesn't actually mathematically play out and doesn't work. But you know what? It's fine to have those policy positions. At the end of the day, to me, what separates left, people who are just liberals, just Democrats, whatever, from being actual wokies is that they can have these policy differences, but we all got to align socially. You can disagree about universal health care. You can disagree about high taxes, but we should probably all agree you can't cut 12-year-old Timmy's cock off.
Yeah. I like how you said cut for like half a second.
Yeah. Well, cut and cock, and it came out cuck, and yeah, that's whoops.
Then head over to GACC, Goths Against Cancel Culture. Link is down below. You can also go to my Discord. My Discord is pretty much the same thing. There's over 2,000 people in there now. Cancel culture arose with the rise of woke to enforce that you weren't able to question it while they took over everything. Okay? You remember cancel culture, you remember this entire thing happening in the 2020s, early 2020s, late 2010s, like 2018, 2019. People lost their jobs and their families. I'm not making this up. You guys.
Oh, fuck. Oh, no. Mistakes were made.
He's been waiting in the shadows patiently.
I just smashed JT the fuck out of this.
Your face is turning red.
Yeah, because I know that the next SNH I'm gonna be fucked.
Oh yeah,
But at least I
with a
won't be
horse
fucked.
cock.
Guys did that. Well, those guys did that. They're not watching this right now. There's no more leftists in here, okay? If you are a leftist, unsubscribe, okay? I don't want you here. Unless, of course, you're open to another perspective, in which case, welcome. Stay as long as you like until.
In which case, you're not a leftist. If you were on the left side of the aisle, but you're open to somebody else's point of view, opinion, actually having a conversation, I would call you a liberal, a Democrat. And like, I try not to conflate the terms leftist and liberal because by and large, liberal hypothetically means free, liberalism, freedom. So you can, have your liberal ideologies and not be a leftist because you're still open to modern day discourse, which I think is very interesting because in most other cultures in Europe, certainly in Japan, liberal is the right-leaning factions.
Really?
Oh yeah, in Japan, their conservative movement, their right-leaning movement is called the Liberal Democratic Party because right-leaning ideology, by and large, means more freedom. Well, what would be more freedom? Being more liberal.
Huh. Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
You're converted into someone who appreciates things like free speech. To criticize woke was to be hateful and evil. And that was then grounds to be cancelled by a wave of mob mentality that was mentally ill. Isn't that right? Because they were never normal, were they? Because they were never like, you can't do that, mate. Sorry, no, you can't do that. Sorry, you're gonna have to leave. It'd be great if it just ended there. And I was talking to Phil about this over in Culture War at, Timcast.
Lex
that I was
War,
at
homie.
because I'm on such a downfall at the moment. I'm going to keep bringing this up because it's the most stupid thing I've ever heard in my life. It's never enough for them to just stop you from doing something. They have to chase you and squash you and turn everyone against you and get your job to fire you and get your family to turn against you. They'll DM your family. They'll dox you.
Sort of like what a certain journalist that shall not be named did to a buddy of mine's wife. Sent some DMs to his family.
What? Wait, is this Mercante? She did what?
Oh, that was how a lot of this whole shit started. She got all upsetty spaghetti in her feels and sent messages to smash JT's wife. That's how all this shit started.
Oh my gosh, she really does want to bang smash.
You weren't doing YouTube at the time, so you probably didn't know that ancient history.
No, but no, that really kind of cements my mental theory that she really wants to bang smash.
You said it, not me, but I'm inclined to agree. Well, yeah, no, welcome to the party. I'm glad that we could impart such ancient wisdom upon you.
I'm happy to be included.
They'll do anything and everything to eradicate you, even kill you. They will kill you.
That's the goal, isn't it?
These are the good guys I'm describing, by the way. I'm describing the good guys. That's the right side of history, folks. That's the right side of history. Does that sound like the right side of history to you? Oh, it does if you paint all of your enemies as Nazis and fascists. That's how they do it. That's how they get away with it. That's how they justify it.
And here it is. I'm going to criticize the fuck out of this. I criticize every single either centrist or right-leaning content creator or whatnot that does this. Guys, YouTube doesn't give a fuck about the word Nazi. YouTube doesn't give a fuck about the word suicide. You don't need to bleep that shit out. When you bleep that shit out, when you give it that level of power, you are playing into the hands of the left. You're playing into the hands of the woke. You're playing into the hands of the powers that be. Stop doing that gay shit. All right, we can only actually reclaim free speech and this actual fight against wokeism and leftism if you actually use the fucking words that are meant to be used, like when I so casually throw around the word faggot.
That's true. That's how we took back the word retard, guys.
Based.
All this stuff is by completely and purposefully misrepresenting who and what you are to justify the hatred that will ensue. With this dual-pronged spear, they were able to get even the most batshit insane concepts normalized and inserted into everything everywhere all at once. We were so preoccupied.
Now, I'm going to say no to this one, but it's not because it's a left-leaning thing. So here, the funny thing about the N-word is that, first of all, I've said multiple times on multiple streams, mine and other people's, I don't shy away from the N-word by and large. However, that's not a leftist thing. It's why it's interesting, because you can point this out in a parallel of why this isn't inherently leftist, because this is something that most people socially align with. The idea of wokeism and leftism is that these are antithetical to social norms. Like, the social norm is that retard doesn't actually mean making fun of fucking retarded people. The social norm is you ought not cut the cocks off of 12-year-old Timmy. It's getting really difficult to say. These are all social norms that are being supplanted by the left. It's still pretty much a social norm in general amongst all folk not to say the N-word, just for what a myriad of social ramifications that are by and large apolitical.
I actually just sent you a comedic clip. It's like a YouTube short, right? Where they explain that and how it works. That you need to see. Yeah. I don't know. Should I share it
Why
with
not
chat?
put it in private chat so that we can show it instead of having to go to Discord?
Okay. Well, hold on.
Fucking retard.
Yeah, I didn't think about it.
See, I just got done saying we don't use the word to make fun of those that have mental issues and are mentally slow, but then I just used it on Cinny. So maybe I'm a liar. No, I'm joking. I love you, Cinny. All right, let's check out this short real quick.
I don't take you too seriously. No worries.
But his audience clearly did not care.
If you don't want me to say the N-word, can you stop making it the best part of the fucking song? I mean, cancel culture's over. You know, everything's coming back. Remember when we couldn't say and retard? Let's be honest. The retard don't get upset. If he gets upset, give him a banana. His fucking... The gay guy gets upset, give him a banana too. But then again, if you call a black guy the N-word and then try to give him a banana, things will escalate.
This comedian upset a...
So yeah, you can't really use the N-word.
Yeah, he's fantastic. I've seen him on several episodes of Kill Tony. He's a quite a talented comedian.
With the pre-ops that we didn't notice the insane infiltration into our schools. There's a lot there.
Yeah, that makes me angry.
High amount of these woke, radicalized freaks entering our schools.
It's because it is engineered. This infiltration is 100% engineered. This didn't happen by accident.
I completely agree.
Nuclear is also another N-word, yes. But yeah, no, this doesn't happen by accident. I mean, this is why it is a top-down infestation. That's why it doesn't matter, even in the context of talking about video games. Like, yes, we all agree we don't want to see fucking, women with man jaws in our video games, but it goes so far beyond that. What we don't want is individuals in any sort of institution, the video game industry, the comic book industry, the education industry, that are there for the sole purpose of indoctrination. And that's what this is. You don't get this level of infestation into every facet of cultural and aspect of cultural life without it being a plan. This doesn't happen by accident.
Yeah. Start with people being very, very young and very impressionable. They're unfortunately doing it the right way.
Yeah. They are smart about it. The only thing that they've done that is maybe unintelligent is that they are so brazen about it. And maybe if they had just held off on that brazenness for another 10 or so more years, they would have gotten away with it too, if it weren't for them meddling Republicans.
What is up with that? I thought they hated kids. I thought they were anti-natal. So explain this. I will, gladly. This is where they bolster their ranks and numbers through indoctrination. It's how they do it. They're not having kids. They can't stop killing kids. Jesus, man. And they're so ugly that they can't even mate. They're shaving their heads bald, just trying to get men away from them as much as humanly possible. And then when they do accidentally get pregnant, they're going down to the old...
Can't procreate if you're gay.
No, but if the government lets you, you can adopt them only to sexually abuse them a few years later.
Wood chipper.
Fetal remover 5000. And thinning the herd, so to speak. They're not having kids. They're having kids at such a...
I would disagree with that thinning the herd option because most of these leftists, they can't even spell the word thin.
Let alone look it.
Low rate.
Right.
That they couldn't possibly survive as a movement for much longer, right? Once they all grow up and they get committed to insane asylums or unalive themselves, which happens quite frequently, or just realize that they've been stupid because they're just stupid idiot children and they clung on to their immaturity for far too long and they realize that, oh my God, what I've been doing is wrong. This is wrong. There's an exceedingly high amount of woke teachers that feel so emboldened by their total domination of media and society that they brag about getting to your kids. They're so ugly and repulsive and so liberal with their use of abortion and so anti-natal that they are unable to maintain their numbers through normal biology. Because as we've learned, they're not satisfied with biology, you know, the way things are, the natural order of things, no. So they have to come after your...
Yes, they are not satisfied with the natural order of things because, by and large, this is due to atheism. I don't even want to say it's due to not necessarily being Christian or whatnot, because you know what? Most individuals of any religious aspect will all agree on the natural order of things. But if you have these atheistic tendencies, if you do not believe in some sort of higher power, if you do not believe in objective moral truths, then yes, you can absolutely have an entire ideology defined by denying or usurping the natural order of things because you don't believe there is a natural order. How can you have anything that's natural if that you know aspect of what is natural wasn't created by some sort of higher power? The godlessness, and again, God just as in greatest power, not necessarily even Christianly, just the greatest power is 100% a driving force beyond this. It is textbook Jurassic Park. You were too busy thinking about whether or not you could to consider whether or not you should.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like, even if you're agnostic, God shows himself everywhere. And
agnostic folk, you know, aren't doing this. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's just rough.
Also, Angmar coming in with a gifted membership. Shout out. Thank you so much, you absolute legend.
Kids to keep their numbers. This right here was where they lost everybody. If you were ever wondering at what point society as a whole decided to turn against wokeism, the woke agenda, it was right there when they decided to go after your kids. Now, there were some out there who could foresee this was going to happen. I did not have the foresight. I just thought maybe things were going to get so degenerate that they were just going to turn into a puddle of goo. That was going to be the final form. I don't even like being human. Goo it is. I have started my goo transition to be goop. The ultimate genderless form. They're never satisfied. Conservatives and right-wing and libertarians and centrists, we set the baseline, okay? We set the baseline from which they then progress. If they're allowed to be as progressive as they want without any boundaries, goop. They become goop. They will turn to goop. And even that won't be enough. They won't be happy until consciousness is erased to the point where they don't want to make the decisions to remove themselves from societal constructs. Yeah. But this is where they lost everybody. This is where they lost the mainstream, is when they started going after kids. because they're so correct, they're so right, that of course the next thing we're going to be given is access to your children. Of course, we're right, we're so correct. Of course that's what we're going to be doing next. It's good for us, it's good for the country, it's not, but which means it's good for the children. And then this is where, they did this, no. And then that's when they were done with it. And then
You know, it is kind of like, I don't know if it's a virtue or not that we let them get away with this for so long until kids got brought into the picture. Because, like, as a freedom-loving dude, right? Freedom is the ultimate, the ultimate privilege. Yes, by and large, you should be able to have the freedom to do what you want as long as it's not affecting other individuals. But maybe we should have been like, again, pushed back on like, yeah, you got the freedom to do XYZ. That doesn't mean you should do XYZ. Like right now, I have the freedom to go wolf down 40 fucking Big Macs. But I got to be responsible with the freedom that I have to not fucking do that.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing though, right? People were expecting these people to say, okay, whatever it was that they wanted to say, but also act like adults and be like, okay, but others are not going to agree with my view. I shouldn't drag children into this. We expected some form of sanity and rationality, and we expected far too much.
Yeah, I don't even have a retort for that. We expected far too much. And you know, he said earlier that nobody saw it going this far. He certainly didn't see it going this far. Nor did I. Like, I'm gonna be real. Now, in my opinion, I caught on to it earlier than a lot of folk because I started seeing it go this far due to Gamergate, which was in 2014. But this was happening well before that, just in the university system when there weren't a lot of prying eyes to see where it was going, to see how the indoctrination was happening, to see where, like, what the grand master plan was. So even by 2014 standards, it was already too little too late.
Yeah. I mean,
like, they were told no.
When it comes to a fight, you have to, like, the problem is that we expect the next person that we're fighting with to be rational, and it doesn't work in a war like this. They don't fight rationally. So you can't, we want to be forgiving and just be like, okay, hey, this is just
not forgiving, but logical. I like where you're going with rational.
There you go.
There you go. Logical.
So it just doesn't turn out that way if they can't fight the same way.
Right, exactly. Like when somebody, if their quote unquote logic is, I hate men, all men are oppressive, all men are rapists, so I'm gonna shave my head to repel men. Like there's no logic there, because your logic is, okay, you don't like men, so you're gonna do the thing to keep men away from you, but then men will continue doing all the things that you think or say they are, just not to you, but to other people. Like to me, that's illogical. So yeah, how do you fight something that doesn't have a consistent logic? And also, how do you fight something that doesn't have a concept of shame?
That's true. Or self-awareness, for that matter.
Or self-fucking-awareness.
When the left were told no, we then saw how batshit insane they were. And exposed themselves in front of everybody. Literally. Gay pride? It's fetish pride now.
That makes me so mad.
What is it? Pup play? Was dog masks? It was about gay being, your pride, being gay, right? It's a anomaly of society. It is. However, the gays were happy. They could be. The men, actually, not the lesbians. Statistically, the lesbians were miserable. But the gays, they were happy. They were.
And as an alt-right Christian nationalist, white supremacist, misogynist, I love it when women are unhappy, apparently. So I've been told.
Like pride, holding hands with your boyfriend. I am proud, they would say, of the relationship that I have. I'm not here to talk about the things I do behind closed doors with my husband. I'm just here to say I'm gay and I'm proud. It would have been so nice if that was where it was left, but it wasn't. Remember, progressivism, progression. It needs to progress, okay? They moved the
Yeah, wait,
goalposts. We
hold
got
on,
what we
pause, 'cause
wanted.
he's
Great,
got-
thank you so much.
He's got such a point here. We should have left it, or they should have left it as they're gay and they're proud, because nobody cared. But because nobody cared that they were gay and they were proud of it, they had to progress it further by indoctrinating your children.
And honestly, whether people like to admit it or not, this is one of the very few opinions I've held for many, many, many years. Always been against gay marriage. As a caveat, though, because I'm against marriage in general as a government construct, right? The idea of marriage has always been something that to me is a spiritual thing. As somebody who fucking hates the government shouldn't be involved in marriage in any way, shape, or form. So as someone who is default against the idea of government being involved in marriage, means I'm default gay marriage, because it's something that the government shouldn't be involving.
I think that's fair. And
What-
I'm tired of like, I don't want the Catholics to be accepting of like that kind of thing. I don't want them to be like, okay, gay marriage is now acceptable, even though it's not. It's like we can have the gay couples in the church. We don't give them a hard time, but I don't think we should get them married there either, though. I feel
yeah, that would be up to the church to decide. I completely agree. And like, again, this 100% went downhill the moment that gay marriage was codified into law. Like whether people want to not, you could be the most like, I'd say, I don't know if Republican or conservative or whatever is you could be the most freedom loving individual in the world, right? So I mean, freedom, very pro freedom. You could still acknowledge the reality of this began, at least as a mainstream idea, began percolating as a mainstream idea when we legalized gay marriage.
Yeah, I can agree with that. There's
Get married.
You can have a ceremony at home. You don't need to be in a church or in a courthouse. Just go do your thing. Nobody's going to argue with you if you say, "Oh, I married my gay lover," and at home. That's fine, but it doesn't need to be ordained. It doesn't need to be recognized by the government. What the fuck was the point? You just wanted a certificate and more acknowledgement that wasn't
right there.
necessary.
No, go back to that.
Wait, which one?
Tax laws also need to stop incentivizing marriage in two. Yes, sort of. Now, taxation is theft. There should be no taxes anyway, but we live in a world with taxes. So here's how you could amend it. If you want to give people incentivize people tax-wise for something akin to marriage, rather than marriage itself, you should incentivize them for cohabitation. Maybe after 5 years of cohabitation, you are then you get these extra tax benefits, or maybe 2 years of cohabitation, whatever it may be. The time is arbitrary, but the point is you should incentivize non-familial relation cohabitation, and then you should further incentivize the having of children.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I don't know the technical terms and whatnot, but like give them tax advantages, not to the gays, but to those who are capable of starting a family and taking care of those kids. Like that should be what drives you to have a family. Push the norm of nuclear marriages again.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Now, and all the normal gays went home and had
So yeah, effectively common law is what that is, except for I could be wrong. But once common law hits, and it varies state to state, it's done on a state by state basis, as opposed to if we're talking about federal taxes, it would be done on a federal level because common law is state based. I could be wrong, but yeah, I'm pretty sure common law is not recognized at the federal level.
wine and watched a movie much like any other normal couple, okay? Because for all intents and purposes, they were. And then the freaks got in there. A very certain type of personality was attracted to this kind of power that they were getting. Dark Triad. Remember the Dark Triad? Do you remember that? Keep that in mind. There were a few really cool people that foresaw this behavior, this incessant desire to continue wanting more. They knew they were going to go after the kids next. Parentheses, could have been something about history repeating itself. a failed painter, a cultural degeneracy. Woke was hinging on that fact that they weren't hurting anyone. But now they are, and worse, they're hurting kids. It's not hurting anybody. It's not hurting anyone. Who's it hurting? Who's it hurting? Be honest. Who's been physically hurt by this? Who's been emotionally traumatized by this? Have you ever heard any detransitioners talking? Have you? How heartbreaking these stories are. No one's hurt. And now I see that this gender ideology, this is declining like a trend does. This was the most self-destructive trend I've ever seen. Do you know what my trends were back when I was a teenager? Skinny jeans, man. The only thing that...
And you know what? I fell for that trend hook, line, and sinker to the point where I still wear them a couple times a week.
I cannot believe you, but you are that gay boy, so it makes sense. I liked my baggy Jinko jeans back in the day, and
I wear those too. You could have multiple aesthetics, Cindy. I have two pairs of skinny jeans. I got one pair of incredibly baggy jeans, and I got about 3 or 4 pairs of completely regular, normal jeans, like what I'm wearing right now.
Do you do that wigger thing where you show your butt?
No, I don't do that. No, I absolutely do not do that. Clippy with a 10-banger. Cinevere, OMG, thank you. You know what? This is for you. Why don't you read this one?
Cinevere, oh my gosh, thank you. I'm a cradle Catholic. This Pope is no better than the last 3. Nicki Minaj has done more for the Catholics than this Pope. We confuse tolerance with surrender. God bless. 100% agree. I'm not impressed that they chose an American guy. They need to rethink it. I mean, like, throw this guy out. All he wants is optics to push shit like this. I do not like this current Pope. Bring it back to like a different country. Give it to an Italian. Give it to some guy over way in a different country, but not an American.
I'm truly curious how Nicki Minaj fits into all this. I agree with everything you just said, but I'm very confused.
She's pushing a more Catholic message. She wants.
Really?
I don't know. Yeah, it's crazy. Like when Nicki Minaj is standing up for like religion, I'm baffled at the world.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. I had no idea that was going on. However, Clippy, since you sent that message for Cindy, this is for you, buddy.
I know now that it could never work between us. Not because you're a rabbit, but because you're black.
Shout out. Thanks for the 10-banger, homie.
Hurt back then was my balls, because they're tight. They're really tight. Okay? They're pretty tight. But this was quite the trend, guys. Wow. You really got up there. What did the millennials do? Oh, skinny jeans and Jinko jeans? Wow, that's okay. Well, how can we up that? how can we outdo that? I guess they saw. No,
that's a pretty wild fucking equivocation, though. Like, how can we outdo skinny jeans and Jinko jeans? Let's make sure that 12-year-old girls get zipper tits. I wish I had the "that escalate a lot" clip from fucking Anchorman, because that's the level that, and he's right. He's 100% right.
Oh, here you go. Clip.
Now that the trend is over, what happens to all the people that were propagandized into altering their body permanently? Like the ones who were coerced into it, not even ones that just wanted to do it themselves, like ones that were coerced into doing it, and we're going to leave them there. It's like, oh, thanks for being part of the trend. See you later. Woke is a misnomer, a Trojan horse, an imposter, an impostore, a word that should mean what it doesn't. A guise for the nefarious. While they parade around using words like social injustice, woke, anti-fascist, to feign being the good guy to stop you by making you look like a bad guy for challenging it, they were getting their way in every way possible May I present DEI?
Let's go. We in my realm, baby. Yes, DEI has been such a fascinating conversation over the last several years, except for it's always fucking existed. It's only gotten worse. DEI is gone, and it is now bridge. This is I'm very, very concerned as to whether or not he's going to celebrate the downfall of DEI, or if he will be intelligent enough to realize that it has gone nowhere. It has only gone into hiding and rebranding.
Somebody needs to tell this guy to watch like Kirsha's stuff on this.
Well, we don't know where he's going. He might.
Okay, well, if he doesn't, then he needs to be redirected to Kirsha on it.
Does this guy have a YouTube channel? Well, yeah, because we're watching his video on YouTube right now. I linked this video in the description of this stream, so you can go check it out.
The amount of damage that diversity, equity, and inclusion has caused in the Western world is going to be studied for centuries. Oh my goodness, this is going to be in textbooks. Now that we've paralyzed the world in fear of being labeled a bigot of any kind, let's artificially elevate the undeserving into positions of power and control to further spin the narrative from within. In case you are wondering what DEI actually was for. Can you imagine if DEI was responsible for hiring a shit ton of brown people or other minority of some kind, and they all turned out to be like based right-wingers? I don't think DEI would have been implemented as aggressively as it was. Do you think?
Correct. Like, y'all know that Hypno ain't getting any jobs for DEI jobs because of him being brown and because of his political opinions. You know, that would be a bridge too far. Nothing?
That's
there
terrible.
You go. There's a delayed reaction there. I was worried.
Well, it took me a second because I was like, did he just... He fucking did, didn't he?
I did. That's the funniest, the most clever joke you guys are going to hear all day. I demand super chats for it, such as this one right here. Clippy for a 2-banger. I'm mad, but over it. Christmas every day. Thanks. Merry fucking Christmas. Fuck happy holidays. Shout out.
Merry Christmas,
homie.
It was about pushing the message, wasn't it? And do we have any illusion that it was about something else? Herein lies more casualties, the beloved franchises that were thrown on the pyre of the message.
Well, you know, the boy listens to Critical Drinker.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you for that one, Critical Drinker.
Oh,
Thank
there
you
it
for
is.
that one,
At least he
indeed.
name dropped.
See, this is like one of those woke tactics, right? Like you give it a word and now it can be attacked, right? We've got like, they'll call you like Islamophobe, which isn't real. That's not a real thing. You know, they'll call you like, transphobe or racist or some other kind of word that they've created, to target you. It's like a target they paint on your back.
Speaking of a target you paint on the back, I was just targeted with a 5-banger, Demon Carol, and maybe a bridge too far for Hypno, but he can still get a job at the market or garden. All right.
No offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
Actually, I guess it's not communist because it's still a job. You'd still be paid. But no, shout out. Thank you so much, Demon Carol. Truly appreciate it, homie.
There's no nuance. It's just that the word has been assigned, they attack you based on that word. Well, we can do that too, okay? We can create a pejorative out of the word woke, right? The word woke now, it's a pejorative. It means bad.
None of you are getting Christmas presents.
And we got, Critical Drinker being like, the message. Now that it has a name, it can be like identified, it can be attacked and ignored entirely. That's why we do that. That's why you did that as well. It's incredibly effective. Thank you so very much for that, actually. If you guys want to go ahead and just create words in order to paint us a target, then we'll do the same. We will do the same. But yes, herein lies more casualties. It's not hurting anybody. I don't know. Ask Harrison Ford and the Indiana Jones franchise. Ask Harrison Ford again for the Star Wars franchise. Horror movies, every comedy dead. Over. Comedy was hurt. Matt Rife, among others. And you've got other things like video games as well. Yes, Dragon Age.
Damn, he getting into all of it, bro. He went with fucking tranny shit. He went with gay marriage. Now he's going into fucking video games and comedy movies.
I feel seen.
Yeah, dude, I'm quite impressed by this video. I might shoot this dude a message if his DMs are open after this stream and be like, yo, you want to come on Neon Leon? I'd love to have me and Cindy could interview you.
Oh my gosh, I'd be so happy.
Age, the fail guard, ruined.
He even called it fail guard, fucking base.
Ruined. Star Wars Outlaws, ruined. Assassin's Creed, what is it, Shadows, ruined. These are the greatest franchises in human history. Not just at the time. This is the best we've ever been, okay? The amount of things that we've created over the years, this was meant to be our pinnacle, like the best ever. And you've destroyed them for the sake of the message. It doesn't matter, right? People relied on these. People love these franchises, man. They really did. They were like their favorite thing. Oh my God, Star Wars, love it so much. Ruined. Even Mario, the new movie that came out, the CG movie, ruined.
All right, I'm gonna disagree with him there. The Super Mario Bros. Movie was not woke. That is completely inaccurate. But you know what? He's still batting like 990 right now, so I ain't gonna jump on him too much.
Well, I mean, like,
Says
it
Peach.
wasn't a story that we really wanted, so it feels like they fumbled it a little. However, it's still
I
just
completely disagree with that.
it's still a movie, right? I don't like how they basically made Mario a complete idiot. And then
They didn't make Mario a complete idiot. What do you mean?
I feel like they made him a complete idiot, or at least a laughing stock. I just don't like that. But I do.
All right, well, there's a question in regards to that then, because I mean, think they met to Star Wars, right? Luke Skywalker starts off as a humble farm boy in a war and world way over his head, and he has to grow to overcome it. And by the end, he redeems Vader and beats the Emperor. How is the journey Luke Skywalker goes through really any different than what Mario goes through in his movie? He's in this new land that he is completely unfamiliar with, and he has to use his existing skills and tools, but adapt them to this new world to eventually overcome and beat Bowser, which he and Luigi do on their own without the help of Peach at all by the end.
Yeah, but they make him kind of an idiot doing that.
I'd
have to watch it again.
Mario show idiocy though. Like, at what point in the movie is he an idiot?
The whole mushroom thing, where I haven't seen it in a long time, but I remember watching them do the whole learning the obstacle course. Right, they made him come off more as an idiot than anything else, and then Peach was nothing but competent, even though. Yes.
Hold on. You keep saying idiot. There's a difference between idiot and incompetent, which he's not even incompetent. He's learning. There's again, that's you have to. The main problem with, for example, like Mary Sue's is they're perfect at everything the first time. You have to see your hero grow, which is what we get from Mario. And Peach, the reason she's competent, the movie explains, is because she's been in the Mushroom Kingdom for years upon years, and she's been doing that obstacle course.
No, she got it right the first time. That is still a Mary Sue.
How did she get it right the first time? She literally says, "I've been doing this for years."
She did it absolutely correct without fumbling it at all.
Because she's been doing it for years. The movie makes a point to say that's why
I'm gonna have to watch this again before we argue about this.
You need to rewatch it again, because the Mario movie's not woke. Again, like, there's mentor.
I didn't say it was woke. I said they made a mockery out of him.
Even so, my point is mentor characters, which Peach is the one teaching him, so it's the mentor. Like, we don't need to see Master Roshi fail at the Kamehameha multiple times before he's able to do it perfectly to show Goku. Then we have to see Goku learning to do it. That's Peach
specifically. Okay, I'm not the only one who's remembering this, because even the chat is going, no, she did say that she got it right the first time. She didn't fuck up at all.
She said it facetiously, so we don't actually know it. Again,
I think you're putting more meaning into it than you.
No, again, there's nothing about the Mario film that goes against the traditional hero's journey, and Mario is not incompetent in the film in the slightest.
I didn't say it doesn't go against, or it goes against the hero's journey.
Directly to you, I'm talking in generalizations because there are people that claim that the Mario movie is woke, or that Mario is incompetent, or again, you say he's an idiot, but at no point in the movie does he show a lack of intelligence, which would be idiocy.
Let me watch it again, and then I'll take notes, and then I will duke it out with you.
Sounds good.
Had to be a girl boss. She had to be a girl boss. Yeah, she did the assault course first time and was amazing at it immediately. All these Mary Sues. I've got no lesson to learn. I have no character arc. I'm perfect immediately. It's everyone else around me who sucks. Oh, that's really fun to watch. I'll get to why that happened in a second. The integrity of the most sacred of all human traditions, storytelling, has been utterly bastardized, and the greatest franchises in cinematic history leveraged to push a narrative about themselves. The Dark Triad, being an exclusive proponent of left-wing authoritarianism, would suggest that this behavior is textbook of self-obsessed narcissistic parasites and sociopaths. You would be correct in assuming this. Woke agendas and DEI initiatives gave way to the most sickly, toxic, and destructive forces known to man. Liberal white women and their unbelievably suicidal empathy.
I couldn't agree more. Is there a more suicidal group than liberal white women, with the exception of trans people? Again, they obviously take the cake. 42% is a pretty high statistic, but
those liberal white knighting men are just as bad.
But see, I would still say that they don't have the same level of suicidal empathy, because at least by comparison, like if we take a liberal white woman and a liberal soy boy white male, just because of biology, they would be less suicidal because they would at least be able to handle themselves a smidge better than the white women.
Oh, just a smidge, yeah, but that's only because it's not the suicidal empathy that gets them. It's the need to get laid and doing it poorly.
Exactly. Correct.
It all comes down to you, ladies. Not you, ladies. You ladies watching this you're based, okay? You're cool. I'm talking about these
I don't need the
batshit
validation.
insane,
You're okay.
erratic,
Keep going.
Psychotic liberal white women. The Mamdani kind of girls. Mamdani girls. Oh, it's a Mamdani summer. It's a Mamdani girl summer.
I hope he puts y'all in burkas.
We're going into brown country.
Oh, trust me, like, dude, when I saw all them, like, again, liberal white women with their suicidal empathy talking about it's time to bring in Sharia law, baby, it's like, oh,
I fucking flipped out when I saw that.
Part of me is conflicted, because on the one hand, I don't want women to read, because I like it when women are dumb. On the other hand, maybe you should read just a little bit.
Okay, well, I'm going to have to stop you there, because clearly these women are a bit educated, just a little, but they're still fucking dumb.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to explain how you think the Mamdani gals are educated.
I said a little bit. Like they definitely
right. Where's the little bit? Where's the little bit of education?
They definitely went to college for something about gender studies.
Educated.
Yeah, no, I said a little bit educated. I didn't say how, just that they took gender studies in college, which means they can read a little bit, but they still lack that self-awareness.
Yeah, they can read. They just can't understand what they're reading.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, you can't understand something that's made up.
Fair enough.
They're all just misunderstood nice guys. Isn't that right? Girl who got masturbated at. They're so naive. They really do think that, like, everything's just a weird construct of white men. Just keep you safe, sweetie. We're keeping you safe from your...
I will never get tired, because this is a headline that you see like a couple times a year. Feminist woman went on a trek across insert unsafe country here to show that the natives are not dangerous. Dies halfway through excursion. Like, you see some variation of that headline multiple times a year. And at this point, it's like, I don't even care. We didn't fucking need you. To quote my favorite phrase, we didn't lose a champion.
Hold on. Wasn't there a couple that drove rode a bike right through?
Yes, there was.
something?
They rode the bikes until they no longer could ride the bikes because they probably had their legs cut off after their heads were cut off.
They were shot.
Shot, whatever. Point is, they dead. Maybe don't go on a cycling tour through Iran or some shit.
Oh, it's fucking stupid.
Selves from yourselves. To quote 1980.
Demon Carol with another 5-banger. You put a potato in the microwave and press pizza, it still comes out as a potato. It's just gender works.
Well, unless you don't poke holes in the potato, and then it just explodes and makes a mess everywhere.
Yeah, that's so when you say they're somewhat educated, they might be educated enough to poke holes in the potato. However, the good parallel here is the ones that don't poke holes in the potato, those are the same ones that are trying to trans children. The children end up exploding. Shout out Demon Carol. Truly appreciate it.
Name one word that starts with G pronounced like J. Gentrification. Shoot, should have thought of that. I was just in San Francisco.
4. It was always the women, especially the young ones, who were the most bigoted adherents of the party. The swallowers of slogans, the amateur spies, and nosers out of unorthodoxy. I'm looking at you, cancel culture. I'm looking at you ladies who were responsible for a lot of this cancel culture happening. Your purity is like a competition for you, it really is. Here I draw the comparison to alternative subcultures, since I can think of no greater microcosm of the acidic vitriol and the authoritarian control exhibited by liberal women. Alternative subcultures are entirely run by them now, and look what has happened to them. It has been sold out, sacrificed for the one thing chicks always do the moment they're allowed full and total control. They hoe out.
And hoes mad.
Oh, yeah.
Tap the sign. Hoes mad.
This is no longer about sexual freedom and the reclamation of female sexuality. This is a total and utter debasement of the subcultures to get paid. They don't care what's happening to it. They don't care that they're setting a bad example for young, impressionable females out there. They don't care that people are making fun of them. Just look at the Whatever podcast, man. Just look at all these other podcasts with these stupid ditzy bimbo bitches on there. They don't care they're being made fun of. They don't care that they're being degraded.
Now, what I will say, and I think this is a negative thing about the Whatever podcast, when they post like the little clips and shorts of these dumbass broads getting owned, it of course sends the message that all these women are dumbass broads getting owned. But when you watch the Whatever podcasts and like their 40-50 minute clips as opposed to the shorts and whatnot that you see on X, they usually have an equal split amongst based awesome women and dumbass broads on their panels. And the based awesome women never show up in those little short clips and whatnot. So like if you watch the Whatever podcast, I would highly recommend watching in longer intervals because they are actually a lot more fair than they themselves would make it out to be when they post their little clips.
Huh. Yeah, I've only seen the clips, so I just thought it was only stupid women that they're sitting there
I thought so
roasting.
too, which is why I avoided that podcast for ages. And then for whatever reason, it started showing up in my recommended recently. And I was like, a 50-minute, and out of curiosity, I clicked on it, and I was like, and it was a really interesting show. And there was a bunch of women on there that were saying the objectively correct stuff and calling out the other dumb broads. And then I started watching more and more. And I was like, well, shit. In the long form format, this show is actually far more fair than the clips make it out to be.
I think they need to do a more healthy mix of showing some of the base stuff and then some of the retarded stuff.
I completely agree.
They don't care that potentially, they could influence young women to get into sex work where they just immediately post pictures of themselves online fully naked the moment they turn 18. Isn't that right, little Tay?
Yep.
They don't care. They don't care. Again, all the power, none of the responsibility. They're not responsible for this. You can't hold them responsible for this. No accountability. They're not accountable. Then they set up a structure called slut shaming. Do you remember what I was talking about? How they just make up words so that they can zone in on a type of behavior. They can quantify something and then create a response based on the quantification of how what you're being perceived as. Slut shaming is again one of those things. It's a phrase they came up.
And slut shaming is not only healthy, but so fucking fun. I'll be real.
Therapeutic,
it's so
even.
fun.
Like,
it's yell at me like that, unless you're agreeing with me. Sorry, what, Cindy?
I said absolutely therapeutic, even.
Yes.
Like, absolutely slut shame. I could spec it.
With is like slut shamer. It's like, no, I thought maybe there's nuance to the things that I'm saying and that you're doing, and maybe we should. No, slut shaming immediately. Shut down. You're shut down. You're shut down, and then you're strawmanned, right? You're strawmanned into you're just a slut shamer now.
Person.
And all the abuse that follows after is completely justified because now you're a bad slut shamer. Because they always got to have a cute little phrase, a word to define a type of speech they don't like. It's basically holding modern women accountable for their actions, but if they can reframe it and assign shame to it, not only is it then easy to identify and attack, but it's also easy to avoid. Thus letting them continue doing whatever the hell they want. Then there's the purity patrol, checking the dedication to the party, like O'Brien or O'Brien did to Winston. Another 1984 reference. They will actually check what you've liked on social media. Isn't that right, Graculus? Isn't that right, bud? They will go and see what you've been liking on social media. Offensive jokes. Ooh, offensive jokes. And then they report back to base. Look what this guy has been liking.
Absolutely not. Coke is what made America great. Dude, all right. Compare the movies we got in the 80s when everybody was doing Coke and compare it to now when these pussy-ass losers are smoking weed or doing ketamine. No, Coke is based.
Privately.
Completely agree.
Not even support, not even like reposting or trying to like elevate with his own platform. Just, I like that. And then they go back to base, and all these ladies are just like in their gigantic Kingdom Hearts 2 chairs. Just like, he must be cancelled. Alert the troops. Gather your greatest forces.
How the fuck do you get up there?
He must not be allowed to continue. So sanctimonious. They will actually check what you've liked on social media, then publicly shame you to the clan for a ritualistic flogging in front of everyone. They will exclude you from anywhere and everywhere if they have the power to do so, and it is absolute. You can't come in here unless you agree with the politics. Don't come to my shows if you're conservative or MAGA, even though they don't know how to define these things. As I've said, they will call.
I'll give the left credit for that, man. I'll give the left credit for that. The left is way fucking better at gatekeeping than the right is. Because if the right was anywhere close to as good at gatekeeping, we wouldn't see anime and video games and fucking Hollywood movies have fallen down this destructive rabbit hole that they've gone down. So you know what? In that respect, yeah, take lessons from the left, right? Learn how to fucking gatekeep.
And you can tell you're doing it properly when they get ass mad over it.
Yes.
You a complete misrepresentation of your ideologies in order to justify excluding you from places. You could just be a centrist. They will deem you a right-wing extremist. You're done. I'm not a right-wing. Doesn't matter. They think you are. Game over. This is how these things work, man. They keep talking as if they're completely normal people, right? They keep talking.
And the irony is, the more they talk, the more they expose that they are not normal fucking people.
Mm-hmm. True.
Like, yes, please keep talking because it exposes, again, the antidote to bad speech is free speech because then we get to hear these roaches espouse their nonsense.
Huh. I never thought about that, huh?
Oh, yeah. I don't want these motherfuckers to shut up. I want them to keep talking until they're extinct.
That would be nice.
As if they're
and then you can
reasonable,
see how
normal
stupid
people.
they are.
Right.
And we're all insane for becoming right-wing extremist Nazis. Instead, except none of that's happening. None of that's happening, okay? They're calling us these things so that they can leverage control, okay? Because a slight disagreement or misalignment with some of the ethics is not really justification enough to exclude people from things. So they have to reclassify you as a Nazi or something. This is how they...
Exhibit A, J.K. Rowling. Because, man, I know everybody likes to preach, talking about how, oh, J.K. Rowling based, J.K. Rowling's amazing. Guys, J.K. Rowling, and don't get me wrong, look, I'm a huge fan of her writing. I mean, I've never read her books, but her tweets are great. She is an ardent lefty, but she disagrees with the fucking the trans stuff. She's still a insane lefty. She disagrees with the trans shit, and therefore now she is a right-wing Nazi. So yeah, that's the playbook. Shout out to Clippy with a 5-banger. The 80s rocked. Casa Nostra, Coke, everyone got raises because CEOs knew how to clean money properly. Best music, best toys, comics, D&D, lore began here. Absolutely based. And you know what? I am going to depress you with that little nostalgia member Barry drop there. Thanks for the 5-banger. Hope it was worth it. No, I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
This is how they work. This is how they operate. No nuance, no trial, no debates or middle grounds being attained. You are labeled a fascist and exiled. Everything about modern alternative subcultures is rancid pig filth, and women are 100% to blame for that. This is why they shifted the gatekeeping from it's about the music, name 3 songs, to it's the politics. Because what they mean is their politics, their contemporary ideologies, because the music simply was not enough to make that statement alone. The youth are usually the ones to maintain the soul of a subculture, and the youth for decades couldn't give a fuck about something as boring as politics. And
all right, cool. We're getting into a very interesting portion of this is probably the most important part of this video, in my opinion. It's been very interesting up to this point, but yes, and this is where I was hoping he would touch on why I named the stream, why I named it, are left-leaning subcultures turning against wokeness, because the youth does carry subcultures. Subcultures, again, Cindy, you and I have been a part of them our entire lives, whether it be the music scene, the anime scene, video games, comic books, D&D, whatever the fuck it may be. Now, when you see the youth, specifically Gen Z, specifically male Gen Z, skewing more conservative than any youth group before them, and these subcultures need to maintain this fascist leftist ideology, these subcultures will die out, or they will be at least irreversibly changed.
Huh. No, I never even really thought about that.
Well, I mean, look, can a bunch of us 30s and 40-year-olds maintain the heartbeat of gaming at this point? By and large, no. And the reason is because we're fucking adults. We ain't got time for all that shit. Like, unless you're a privileged individual like you and me who get to do it for a living, the vast majority of adults, they don't get to fight the gaming culture war because they're busy waking up and going to their fucking 9 to 5 and then coming home and spending time with their kids and then getting dinner ready and then putting them to bed and then maybe get an hour of game time before they have to fucking go to bed. And that's assuming the wife even fucking lets them. And then they're going to realize slowly and surely, man, gaming fucking sucks now. And then they're eventually going to quit doing gaming. Or again, you can switch gaming out with any sort of counterculture. But the point is, the kids are the ones that keep counterculture alive. And the kids are able to do that because they have time that adults don't have.
Yeah, it makes me think of that. I think it was Johnny Depp meme where there's a kid asking him, "Hey, can I buy any game I want when I'm an adult?" And then like Johnny Depp's like, "Yes, you can, but you'll have no time to play them."
And that meme is from arguably my favorite Johnny Depp movie, Finding Neverland. I mean, man, he's got a lot of great movies. Finding Neverland is in my top 5 favorite Johnny Depp movies. But yes, you're exactly correct. The youth is the soul of it's not the youth is the heartbeat of subcultures. Those that have aged, people like you and I, we're the soul of it because we'll do what we can to try and keep it what it was at its roots. But you need a heartbeat to continue living. The youth is the heartbeat, while those that have aged are the soul.
Yeah, no, that's true. And that's why you should raise your kids to appreciate video games, in my opinion. Good ones, specifically.
I'm going to prove that in an upcoming video. Until these politics were used as a means of control by a very female-coded flavor of vindictiveness during the great radicalization of lockdown. The feminization of all of our control structures and everything that followed. It's hard not to be super upset about all this kind of stuff, but hey, my career is on a downward spiral, apparently, so nothing I'm doing or saying is making any impact whatsoever. I have no influence. People aren't listening to me. I am a feeble, flaccid attempt at trying to radicalize people into becoming right-wing.
And this is the incredible part. The left thinks that the right, or even the centrists, or the libertarians, or the anarchists, or people that are not the left, have zero power. And I mean, I can speak to the exact same phenomenon he's speaking to, obviously to a far lesser degree, because he is much more successful and probably has convinced far more people than I have. But I can say with absolute certainty, I do have folks in my chat that are 100% politically opposite of me. Again, Jeremy's review right there. He is not an ardent right-winger or whatnot. Actual Justice Warriors in the chat damn near every stream, every day. He is notably on the left. My very best friend, IRL, future over you, down in the chat, Paul Byersmith. He and I have been at political odds with one another since we met 10 years ago, and we're still best friends, and he's still here in these chats and these streams every day. Yes, we've got folks that disagree with us on policy politically, but we're all aligned on the social aspect, and that is mind-changing. And the left refuses to acknowledge that that is even fucking possible.
No, it's that you guys can coexist at any level and have a different opinion from each other. Like, you could be a fucking adult about it. They don't understand that.
Was because they have to have the mentality of adults, which these motherfuckers don't have.
Yep.
No, did I say actual Justice Warrior? No, True Justice Warrior or whatever his name is. He's not actual Justice Warrior. That's a far bigger fucking YouTube. No, I got the name wrong of the guy in the chat. Then my bad. But
isn't that right? I'm nothing. Oh. Thou doth protest too much, I think. But back to this. Again, they like to operate from this inflated sense of self-importance and self-righteousness, sanctimoniousness. We're the hateful ones. We're the bad guys, the bigots. And it's their self-assigned job to protect things from us. But I've never seen such hatred in all my life until I saw the left. The shaking.
This guy is goth, mind you, so he's going to have plenty of people who just absolutely hate on him just for how he looks.
By the way, I meant free expression warrior. If I said actual Justice Warrior, I meant free expression warrior in the chat every single day. But yeah, well, that's why I started off this video, Cinny, or this stream, by pulling out a photo of him, several photos, and asking you, what do you think his political alignment would be? And you assumed, based on his look, understandably, by the way, because I would have as well, that he was a lefty.
Yeah. But
yeah,
I mean,
I meant to say free expression warrior, who is somebody who's in the chat every day, not actual Justice Warrior. That was a mistake. But anyway, right. So yeah, people are going to judge the dude based on his looks. Why? Because 99% of the motherfuckers that look like him, at least so we're led to believe, are on the left.
Yeah, that's true. Like he's talking like he might not be bi, but I would have pegged him as a guy who likes being pegged. So I mean, like, looks can be deceiving, and this is a great example of it. Oh, please don't do that.
Fascist! Racist! Nazi! This misplaced rage. Oh man, white men. I've never seen more hate in my life. So woke has destroyed the alternative subcultures too, by turning them away from cool stuff and turned them into radicalized extremist breeding grounds where echo chambers strawman the points made by those who call to question their ideologies. If you wanted a brief summarization of what woke did to alternative subcultures, then there's the bioweapons coming in from Somalia.
Did he just call the Somalian criminal aliens bioweapons?
Oh my gosh. This guy is going after everyone. I'm kind of liking it.
Base. Holy shit. Let's talk shit on some fucking Somalian scum. Let's go.
And various other places where women are considered livestock. Coming in from the worst places on earth, my God. Nothing has ever invalidated the ethics of feminism more than their desire to flood the nation with not just individuals, but entire cultures of foreign men that did this to the statistics of Europe.
Number of police recorded rape offenses in England and Wales from 2002 and 03 to 2024 and 2025. Remember that suicidal empathy we were talking about? Yeah, because I imagine there's a lot of suicidality going on in a woman's mental and a woman's noggin after she's forcibly penetrated by an Islamic extremist at 9 years old.
Jesus, what?
Joe, trust me, Jesus be doing a lot of weeping.
Do you want to see 2005? 2005. Ladies, what the actual is wrong with you? Okay?
Because it's not happening to them.
Feminist women.
But it is happening to them.
No, I mean, like,
don't care.
Okay, so you have those. I saw this thing with Asman earlier about this judge that basically tried to escort a illegal immigrant out of a courtroom to keep him away from ICE, right? But I think Asman had a point. If you have her live next to a house full of nothing but illegal immigrant men who have done nothing but bad things, I don't think she'd feel quite the same way she does now. Like,
correct.
It's terrible that, oh my God. Oh, it makes me angry. Okay.
That's why we call it suicidal empathy. Because like these dumb broads are so concerned with just the appearance, mind you, of empathy, that they are willing to put themselves, their friends, their family, their countrymen, their entire country in the hands of extremists that will brutally destroy their way of life because I don't want to look like a bad person. Bitches, bro. Bitches be
Really?
tripping and they fell fucking hard.
You need to speak your mind and you need to stand up for what you believe in, but you can't sacrifice others in order for that message to happen. That's the wrong way to do it.
Women out there, what the You want to know what's super funny? I'm the bad guy for bringing this up. You point to the rape statistics being statistically disproportionate to a certain demographic. You're the bad guy for bringing that up, not the you.
Yeah, at this point, the phrase per capita is tantamount to let's murder 6 million Jews.
Racist is now like, it's above rape. It's higher. It's further up now. Isn't that crazy? That's crazy. How dare you mention that,
And this is why women
The
don't have any kind of
pales
power.
in comparison.
Say it louder for the people in the back.
This is why women shouldn't have any kind of real power. They're fucking retarded.
Hello, base department.
To the crime of pointing out statistics. This is another destructive aspect of woke. The white male hatred. The disproportionate amount of hatred for white men, despite everything we've done. Oh, teach men not to rape. Seriously, what the fuck is your damage, ladies? You lost your minds at those white South African families. Do you remember? Those white South African families, and all of the liberal white women lost their minds about it. Legally immigrating to the US on asylum because they were being attacked by the usual suspects. Could you imagine how these women would have reacted if the disproportionate amount of these white South African men became sexual assault criminals? One of them? They would literally go to South Africa themselves and kill every single white man they found. But these statistics, crickets, nothing. Nothing at all, complete silence. Like with the Palestine thing. You've noticed how like quiet that is now? A trend. Again, it's a trend. It was a trend. It was a trend. It was never about Palestine whatsoever. I mean, that much was obvious, right? Even people who were fully immersed in the conflict between Israel and Palestine were in the dark about a lot of the things that were happening. And then these left.
They're in the dark because they don't have electricity, because the Palestinian government decided to divert all the electricity to building shitty fucking bombs to use to attack Israel. And mind you, this ain't me capping for Israel, because I fucking hate both of them. All I'm saying, they should both glass each other, and I won't lose a wink of goddamn sleep over it.
Why do we have to take care of them when they couldn't take care of themselves all this time?
But the poor downtrodden
I don't give
brown
a fuck
people.
about them at all. America only, man.
Yeah, it's not even America first, it's America only. Agreed.
Just came in and made it all about them. They made it all about them. Without knowing anything. Like the ones who were like pro-Hamas and stuff. Like, come on, man. Thinking they're freedom fighters. I'd say these girls are stupid, but they know the correct thing to do here, and they're actively choosing not to do it. Economies ruined. Female safety catastrophically reduced. Entire schools being replaced with non-natives. Jobs going to foreign men because it's cheaper labor. This is white erasure, and they're happy about it. Yay! It's quite some equity you're squandering, ladies. At some point, we're not going to be around to stop you from destroying yourselves and everything around you. So to really summarize what
these
woke
women are
is
going through
and why it's
menopause.
bad.
I mean, I would like to agree with you, but no, because a lot of these dumb broads are fucking college age.
Oh, that's true. That's true. But they're being taught by women who are going through menopause, and they're only angry at everything.
That is true.
It was initially used by blacks, hijacked by liberal whites, to paint themselves as perpetual victims while being the most undeservedly privileged demographic in the world. Using this victimhood, they gained unquestionable power, and the resulting suicidal empathy opened the borders to Ricky Stabby and his homies, while they systemically indoctrinated your children into an antenatal gender cult that operates on a purity hierarchy maintained by vindictive, narcissistic women. White men are f***ed, white children f***ed, white women actually also.
By the way, when he says white children fucked, literally by trans people and by the brown people that are infesting all these white nations, and yeah, there's a whole lot of literal child fucking going on. It's quite concerning, in fact.
And it's more concerning that nobody's getting upset about it.
I was gonna make an Epstein Files joke, but at this point, I'm past it. I'm fucking, yeah. Where are we at on figuring out what the fuck's going on with the pedophiles that run the fucking world, Trump? Oh, yeah, we've got a bunch of photos released. Yeah, that's awesome. But ones with you in them, quietly redacted, that's a little strange. I would just like to know why we still allow a global cabal of pedophiles to run the fucking planet.
I still think that's a red herring. If they actually had something on Trump, people would have run away with it because they're always looking for an excuse.
And that's true, although it is strange. You gotta admit it's strange that the one photo of Trump that was released in the files got hastily removed from the public view of the files.
I don't know what's going on with that, honestly. I just feel like they're making a shit show of the entire thing.
I completely agree.
Criminals running around on the streets with 49 priors. We're going for a record here. And the end result of all of this is the end of civilization. Western civilization, I should specify, actually. These woke may be vibrating with euphoria at the very thought of that, but only because they've had the equity to squander on such self-righteous destruction. When the bow breaks, and they're the captain now. Look at me, look at me. They're the captain now. Okay? Do you understand what I'm saying? We won't be there to save you from your mistakes. Okay? You're able to bleed your heart dry for all of these things, all these causes. You're able to do this. Be so self-destructive because of the equity that we as white men have given you. Okay? You are able, you're privileged enough to throw away parts of your culture, parts of your life, and still be completely fine and safe.
No. This is going to sound like a pretty communist thing to say, so I need y'all to interpret it properly. But throwing away our culture, not your culture, our culture, because what these dumbass liberal white women and these soy boy fucking dudes and these people in power are doing is that they are taking the collective Western society's culture, which has been a pretty good goddamn culture, especially here in America, the great experiment in individual freedom. And they are using that freedom so irresponsibly to throw everything away for all of us without any concept of whether we agree to this aspect of the social contract. It is the most selfish, arrogant, conceited, narcissistic mentality one could possibly have. And it's being done by what is effectively is tantamount to a vocal minority that is being propped up by an even smaller minority with a lot of money that operates from the shadows. Again, whether it be World Economic Forum, whether it be Uniparty, whether it be, if you want to say Illuminati, it doesn't matter. Our collective Western culture is being thrown in the garbage, and it's because there is something larger at play here.
Yeah, don't they want to mess with like the Constitution? Start ebbing away at our rights?
It goes beyond that. It starts with ebbing away at the Constitution and ends if you will live in the past, you will in the bugs, you will be happy.
Yeah.
And you think you're so righteous and good and sanctimonious, but it's only because we are the safety net that remains after you've done all that really nice, cute stuff for yourself so you can sleep at night. Like a petulant child resisting the orders of a parent who knows better, we know you're going to kick and scream and cry and lash out, but you have to eat your broccoli, okay? I know conservatives and right-wingers and like all the, centrists and...
Okay, no, I disavow. Don't eat the broccoli. Carnivore diet supremacy.
Politicians and all this kind of stuff, and the president. I know all this stuff's pissing you off, makes you so mad. When a man tells you what to do, how to act, how to behave, to maintain society and birth rates, actually, so that we don't become extinct. I know it sucks, and you want to kick and scream and fight against it. And a little bit of resistance is nice, it's good, but we're doing what is good for you, okay? Usually they never had this much power with which to resist all the good stuff for them, but now they do, like USAID, USAID. Whoa.
Catch you later, Doberman.
Whoa. You want to talk about how far a bleeding heart liberal will go? Yeah, they'll send your tax money to like halfway across the world so that a dog can get transgender surgery. Sounds insane, but it's honestly, like, I wouldn't be surprised if there was something even close to that. But you need to listen to us, ladies, okay? You need to listen to us. Not you based ones, you know this. You know this. I'm talking about the leftist psychopaths. You need to listen to white men. I know it goes against your programming, which was deliberate, by the way, but you have to. This is all going to come crashing down. The walls that keep you safe, that you're smashing with a sledgehammer, once those walls come down, everything comes in. And we won't be there to stop it. And who's behind all this, you're probably asking. Who's behind all this? It's the Jews.
What a banger way to end the fucking video. Holy shit.
I love it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was awesome. This was my very first Jake Maruno, I believe is his name. Yeah, Jake Monroe video. And what an awesome way to do that. Again, he was very rarely wrong. He was very rarely wrong. There's a few things I had to criticize. My only real criticism would be that I don't think he definitely talked about the cultural aspect of what the peons on the ground are doing, the nameless, faceless bots on X and whatnot, and which is all incredibly important. But where are these ideas coming from? Where is the indoctrination coming from? It's coming from much higher on high, and I wish he'd have focused on that. But I really like how he got into the subculture aspect. But what are your takeaways, Cindy?
I really liked the fact that he brought to light so many things that people don't really correlate together, I feel like, because they only see them as separate issues. But so like him talking about, not only the woke, but also like the Somalis and bringing up suicidal empathy and stuff like that. I'm really happy with his video. It was a long video. It took a while, but I am also used to faster content and speaking a lot quicker. So that's on me.
Yeah, I absolutely enjoyed this. I'm certainly going to reach out to the dude and see maybe we can get him on episode Neon Leon or something. And I think it'd be a very interesting conversation ahead. But yes, I also agree he needs to stop censoring swear words, let the F-bombs drop. I agree. People on YouTube have this mentality that YouTube like censor speech and whatnot. Guys, I've been doing this for a few years now, and I very rarely seem to get my speech censored. Now, there's been some times where I feel like I did go too hard. And then I would put like the stream to members only or something. But that's more just to avoid like brigading from folks like Alyssa Mercante and trying to, get the channel taken down or whatnot. It's more of a precautionary measure as opposed to like a fear of censorship or anything to that effect, or self-censoring. But yeah, at the end of the day, very much enjoyed the video. Definitely think there's a conversation to be had here. And I agree with you, Cindy. He linked a lot of very excellent points. There'll be, and we're going to get a couple clips out of this video. But that being said, we got damn near, we had well over 100 viewers from the majority of this. There's still 96 of you here, which likely means there's some new folk in here. And if you are new to my show or to my streams or my channel or anything to that effect, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. This also isn't normally what we do on Mondays. Normally on Mondays, we got 2 or 3 topics in the chamber that we go off on. But I knew with a 45-minute video, we were probably only getting through this one thing today. So that being said, would be honored to have your subscription and truly appreciate it. Let's hit these last few chats and then we'll do some outros. And we're doing a very important raid today, so don't go anywhere. Old Chimp Kringle, why do dragons sleep during the day? Because they fight nights. See my way out.
How you doing, sir? Good. Can we talk to you? Where are you from? You live in New York?
Who are you?
Don Lemon.
You're a fucking moron, dude.
And yes, absolutely. Let the fucks fly, just like this flying. Not really a flying knee, but I don't know what you would call that fucking move. So, yeah, that being said, videos and streams all day, not all day, but yeah, every day. So we'll see you guys tomorrow for Tinfoil Haters. I will have a video tomorrow. Not a clip of this, but something that might be tangentially related to this. And we are going to be raiding into The Plot Strikes Back, our boy Nick, because he is doing, for those of you that care about masculinity, and storytelling in film, all year, every Monday we've been doing Masculine Mondays, where we review films not as films, but review them based on their masculine traits and qualities. It's been an absolute incredible journey to do so. Been really happy to be a part of it. And now that the year is over, we are pitting 64 of the most masculine characters in film against each other that we've covered thus far, and doing a tournament to see who is the most masculine. So absolutely, we're going to raid into that. It's going to be a banger show. It starts in 5 minutes. I want y'all to type in Vital Idol Raid. Before we do that, I got to give my girlie some props. So tell the people who you are, what you do, where they can find you, the whole nine.
I am Cinevere. You guys can find me on all platforms as Cinevere, and I am so excited to be hanging out on Nick's channel a little bit later, like coming up actually. Also, Leon, we are past our 1 year of meeting. It was over on the 17th, but It's been a glorious year. I've loved every minute hanging out with you, and I look forward to more years to come. And
I could truly say that with the 3 years I've done on YouTube, within the last year, meeting you was a top 5 thing. I think you've truly pulled the channel together in a way that I didn't even envision. Not just saying that to suck your lady dick. So,
well, I find you to be a blessing. So, yes, thank you for being my friend, and for all you cuties, you have made my year blessed, absolutely blessed. And I will be streaming on my channel later today, so keep an eye out for me, won't you?
You'll love to see it. Old man Chimp Kringle for a 2-banger says Batman Boom. I have no idea what that means, but
and a friendly reminder, f you, Leon.
All right, and with that, we outie like 4 circles. We're gonna go ahead and raid on into Nick right now. Like I said, say Vital Idol Raid in his chat. And until next time, it is all here in the Nerdosphere. This has been Words of Paradise, and thank you truly to everybody that donated. Merry fucking Christmas.